What's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today we are making just plain old sandwiches. We're going to start off with 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon of yeast. Put it into a cup of warm water. Then we throw a little bit of sugar in. Mix it all up. We're going to let that sit for 5 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to throw some bacon on a baking sheet. I just like to use a sheet of tin foil just because there's so much grease that's going to come off this bacon. You don't want any of that getting into the bottom of your oven and causing a smoky mess. But don't throw your entire package on there. Leave a little bit out. Throw the rest of it into a pan and just cook it as you would normally cook bacon on the stove. Now going over here, we're going to take I use kosher salt, so I had to crush that down into smaller little bits. We're going to use 8.75 ounces of all-purpose flour, 8.75 ounces of bread flour. I also will throw in 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of canola oil, and 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. Then we're going to throw in half a cup of warm water and throw it on our stand mixer for a couple minutes. After it's all mixed together, it's going to come out to be a little bit sticky, but not too sticky where you can't work with it. As long as you make sure to keep your container covered at all times. And now we're going to make some sauce. The sauce we are making here is kind of a little bit like cane sauce. We're going to use 1/3 of a cup of ketchup, a cup of light mayo, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, a teaspoon and a half of garlic powder, two teaspoons of black pepper, a teaspoon of salt, and then we're going to mix it all together. I'll also throw a little bit of cayenne pepper in there, or crushed red pepper in there to give it a little bit of extra spice. Mix it all up pretty good. I like to use a little bit of a bigger batch just so you get it tasting a little bit better on. Then our bacon is done cooking. Pull the bacon out, but do not get rid of the grease. Leave the grease in that pan. We're going to cut up some jalapenos. Splitting them down the middle just so we can pull out the inner bits and the seeds. Leave more seeds if you want more spice. Chop them up however you like them chopped up, either diced or in just halves. Now we're going to go throw these in our pan with our bacon, using our bacon grease instead of oil. Definitely tastes better this way. This is not the healthiest way to do this. And now we're going to chop up some sweet onions. You can use sweet onions, red onions, yellow onions, white onions, whatever you prefer. I like sweet onions. I leave them all chopped up, and then I'm just going to break them up into our little pieces as I throw them into the pan. And then mix those in. Next up is our bell peppers. I'm just going to chop them into littler bits and then have them. Whatever vegetables you put on top is your own choice. The more important part is the bread, the meat you use, the cheese, and the sauce or spread. Throw a little bit of Cajun seasoning over your vegetables when you've thrown them all in the pan. And let's let those saute down for a little while. Now they're cooked down, you can pull them off the heat and refrigerate it. It's been about an hour now since you put your bread to rise. Now we're going to pull it out of the mixing bowl and sort of work it into a bread-shaped log. This recipe is enough for 2 large loaves or 3 smaller to medium-sized loaves. This is similar to Jimmy John's bread in taste, not quite the same, a little bit different. We're going to work it out into a loaf shape. I usually don't put relief cuts in my bread, pulling it out. It has split down the side because I didn't put relief cuts in it, but if you cook it at 400, You shouldn't have any problems with this. This was me experimenting with temperatures. This was 375 for 20 minutes. We're going to throw our cooked bacon on there now. Some white American cheese. Some of our spread we made earlier. Liberally use that. Trust me. Some Gouda cheese. Some buffalo turkey breast lunch meat. And some Cajun chicken lunch meat. And I will typically throw my vegetables on and either put it in the fridge or toast it. Toasting it is far superior. Toast all of your sandwiches if available. It is way better. But trust me, it sounds like a weird combination that I've got going here, but this sandwich tastes fantastic. And these very large sandwiches weigh about 4 pounds a piece, can serve 3 people for one meal, and cost about $7.78 depending on what meat you get. I got my meat on sale. It wasn't expired. It wasn't low quality. It was just sort of getting closer to the end of its shelf life, and it was cheaper. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe for more.